let's talk about dealing with internalized aphobia. So I know that a really big part of the Ace Dad Advice brand and project is living your best ace life. Being empowered, feeling comfortable in your own skin, being unapologetic about your aceness in the world. And that is absolutely something that I try to do all the time on a daily basis, and it's something that I try to help you do out there. But I would be disingenuous if I said that was always the way that I moved through the world. The reality is I still have days where I really struggle with being an ace person. There are days that I say to myself, I wish I wasn't asexual. It would be so much easier if I wasn't ace. And I have days when all of those negative messages that the world tells us about asexuality creep into my head and take up rental space in there. And it is sometimes very hard for me to kick them out. So I wanted to make a video talking a little bit about how we deal with internalized aphobia. How do we handle those days when we feel like I just don't want to be asexual? I just don't want it. First, it's important for us to remember where these messages are coming from. Outside of us. We are moving through the world all the time with this barrage of messages and cultural ideas coming at us from all sides all the time. So we're constantly being worked on by allonormativity and compulsory sexuality. We are being worked on by heteronormativity and amatonormativity. And these cultural forces have been working on us since the moment we enter the world. We have been told these messages about what kind of person we should be and what kind of behavior is right from the time that we are very young. We are told that from our families, we are told that from our peers, we are told that from our communities, the institutions we hang out in, and then ultimately through media and larger structures like policy and cultural messaging. So these messages, have a lot of power behind them. There are a lot of people and institutions and systems backing them up. So it should come as no surprise to us that these messages are things that we've taken within ourselves. These messages that we have taken within ourselves are things we sometimes believe. That thing we're told to thing we believe pipeline is really important to recognize, because so many of us will construct how we think and feel about our own asexuality with those messages from the outside world. And for so many of us, our conceptions of what it means to be asexual people are colored by aphobic messages from the outside world. So one of our first lines of defense against internalized aphobia is doing a little self-inventory. And this is something that you can just do like sitting on a couch with a cup of coffee with a couple of quiet hours to yourself, or it's something that you can actually do in a notebook writing things down. But you should do an inventory of all the things you think about being asexual, all of the feelings that you have about it, all of the ways you understand it. Is it a good thing in the world? Is it a good thing for you? Is it a good thing for your relationship? Is it good in relationship to your body? How does it impact the people in your life? What do you think about asexuality in a larger sense? Just do a big old brain dump of all the things that make up your understanding of asexuality and how it relates to yourself. And then take that big brain dump and break them up into two categories: messages I've gotten from the outside world, or things I know that are true about my asexuality from inside it. We do ourselves a great favor to be thoughtful about all the things we think about our asexuality. And if we can discern which are messages we're receiving from the pressure of normative forces and the pressure of other people, from just the real experience that we have as an asexual person, the comfort that we can feel in our bodies around it, the comfort we feel around what we want and don't want. If we can separate those two things, we are able to push aside the messages from the outside world that are negatively impacting our conception of ourselves as ace people, and we can nurture the other part. We can nurture that positive side, all of those real authentic experiences and feelings that we have that come from truly within us. Because that's where we should be building our self-conception anyway. It should be about just what is true about how we feel inside our bodies and inside our minds and inside our hearts. What are those things? Let's build our self-conceptions as ace people around and about nurturing those things. But as I said at the beginning, those outside messages are weaselly little things, and they really know how to get into the cracks and dig in and take root and burrow and stick around for a while. So the second thing that we can do to work against internalized aphobia is to build up an arsenal of positive thoughts and positive depictions and positive feelings and ideas about asexuality that we can turn to when the negative ideas get kind of loud. So what does this look like? Grabbing ace books or books with ace representation that make us feel proud and comfortable. Surrounding ourselves with the content of ace creators that is uplifting and empowering. Writing notes of affirmation from ourselves to ourselves. I mean, remember, we have to be our best ally. So write a set of ace affirming post-its and stick them up in places where you need them or you'll see them regularly, so that you are encouraging yourself to stick with what's true and not what the world is trying to say about you. It's like building up a little wall of protection around ourselves from those external messages. And that wall is built with the bricks of affirmation from ourselves and from other ace people who are sharing our experience and sharing our community. And if you need a first brick to start building that wall, let me be the first brick. There is nothing wrong with your asexuality, and there is nothing wrong or broken about you. Your asexuality is not a liability in the world. It is a unique feature that makes you who you are, and who you are is worthy and deserving of all the things you can expect and want from the world. Remember, if you stopped being asexual today, you would also stop being you, and I don't think losing you is worth it. You, as an asexual person, add a very important understanding, perspective, and story to the larger story of what being ace means in this world. So love that, embrace that, because we need you. Finally, on those days when you are having a tough time fighting those voices, be gentle with yourself. Give yourself grace. Because we all fight these messages. We all fight these negative ideas. And you're not alone in that fight. Just make sure that you are treating yourself with kindness and care, because you deserve that. Eventually, those negative voices will be overcome by all the positive work that you are doing to support and care for yourself. So it will pass. Let it pass. Be kind to you. And then get out there and live your best ace life, because that is something you and all of us deserve.